SMT Nation, I have something amazing to report. AT&T has completed a 5G plus N77 C-band upgrade and full 5G and LT modernization. This essentially took, I'd say, about a week in terms of the installation of the hardware. So that would mean like the tower crew showing up on site, doing the installation of the gear, and you'll see it there at the top here on the screen. And outside of them putting up all the hardware in about a week, they also had the optimization, the tuning, and it is now broadcasting after about another week. So the whole entire process took about 2 weeks, I think just under 2 weeks, and it's functioning very, very well. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about in terms of the environment, the market, kind of like the surrounding area, and then I want to share some other details with you guys. All right, so first of all, this is a park. All right, to the left, you have a football and soccer field. There's actually a school over here. There's another building over on this side. Everything behind these trees, it's pretty much all residential. There is a small, very small amount of commercial, meaning like businesses and drugstores and gas stations, but it's very limited. This is 95% of this data traffic is going to be residential users. And, just to give you an idea of what, you know, AT&T is doing here in terms of the planning of this upgrade. All right, so you see it is a very wooded area. All right, this is very typical of northeastern Ohio to have a lot of large oak trees and cottonwoods, and the tower site's got to go above the tree line. All right, so that's why you'll see that it is a pretty daggone tall site. Verizon is just under here. Let me give you guys a better view with another photo. All right, so here's up close and personal. Here's the Verizon site right behind this cottonwood. All right, here's all the low band and lower mid band stuff. Here's a CBRS antenna and the radio behind it, and then the C band upgrade for Verizon just to the left of that. So, but we're gonna focus here on the N77 installation and upgrade for AT&T. So this is new, as is these two panels. All right, these are going to be all your lower frequencies and possibly some of the lower mid band. And then this could be carrying some of that as well. But here's the Nokia branded Nokia vendor N77 gear. All right, with radio and antenna in tow, all the way at the top of the site. All right, so this is what you're looking for, and a little blurry. I think this next picture, yes, gives us a much better view. Very nice, high quality picture from the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Got a birdie up here. All right, so you've got your radios, you've got all your connections here. In my experience, the Nokia gear for sub 6 gigahertz 5G, the mid-band stuff, has been very good. The radios, the antennas have been excellent. Range is good. Speeds are good. This is a 40 megahertz channel of N77 for now. That will increase to 80 megahertz in 2023 at the end of the year. And then there's some additional N77 in the 3.45 gigahertz frequency, the DoD auction. That's going to need a different radio, I think, and an antenna possibly. So, they're probably going to have to come back up here, and they're going to have to climb this and put up an additional antenna. And I'm guessing this looks like a candidate spot for it, somewhere on this rack. So we shall see if they take anything down or replace it, or maybe this site never gets a secondary upgrade for a long while. We'll see. And then when they do upgrade it, will they put an integrated radio? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyways, this is what you're looking for. I'll give you guys a nice little zoom. All right, this is a Nokia market, all gear Nokia for, the RAN, the radio gear, and here it is. It's really good. So to show you guys a little bit of detail on the testing, here I am in the parking lot. There's a 30 millisecond ping, and then there's a 2 millisecond jitter. So in and of itself, that's not earth-shattering 30 milliseconds. That's very LTE-ish, right? But what you're looking for when you're connected to the C-band on AT&T, you're looking for 5G plus right here. Upper right-hand corner, you're looking for that icon. And in this particular test, I was getting 394 down and about 46 up. You'll see I was also watching some of the market news. That's a 1080p video stream going on in the background. So to give you guys an idea of what you could do on this connection, multitasking is a breeze. And in my estimation, even on LTE, AT&T is phenomenal here in the Ohio area, and especially in my market. Very good. lots of capacity. Let's go ahead and take a look. And by the way, so you got line of sight here. It's literally right there in the background. There's the phone. I put it up on the dash, right? So like perfect settings. Let's go ahead and take a look at this as I was driving away, and I create a little bit more space. So we're probably about a fifth of a mile away. You will see that the speeds actually were better. All right, so you don't want to be sitting like under a cell site, especially one that is very tall and is broadcasting, you know, in a separate direction. So the sector, is it facing you and that sort of thing. So we got the same 30 ping, same jitter, 481 down and 42 on the up. All right, we got the 5G Plus. You'll see the signal strength is strong. All right, life is good. This is a great upgrade. This is definitely going to help a lot of people in terms of getting more capacity. And then this last test I took was from, I don't know if it was exactly a mile, but I would say pretty close to a mile, give or take zero point 0.1 miles. I don't know exactly. All right, but you will see that the signal strength is decreasing. All right, it is a mid-band frequency. So at about a mile, sometimes these mid-band frequencies start to kind of lose their power, right? The signal strength drops, the noise, the signal to noise ratio drops a little bit. So it's not something I tested, but I would guess that the SINAR was probably dipping. So, when you're close to a site, your SINAR value might be like 20 or minus 18 or minus 15. And then as you create distance, it does get a little noisy, and that might drop to like 5 or 3, in a value. And then that's why you see the performance downgrade. The RSRP will also worsen. So up close, you're probably at like minus 80 RSRP. And then when you're like a mile away for a mid-band channel, you might be something like, I don't know, minus 105 or something. I don't know, minus 100 possibly. Depends on the tower height, lots of factors, power levels and stuff. But this is what I was getting. I think this is very good for a site that was just turned on, right? And from close by, it was phenomenal. This is now the second site within this region. So these two sites are now neighboring, right? There's what I'm seeing from AT&T, they're starting to cluster sites. And this actually helps in a very dramatic way. Usually, and this is kind of something that we saw with T-Mobile early on with their N41 build, is they were kind of like building these speed islands. And the reason this was happening, it was basically built around clearance, right? How could they get the permits through? Which sites needed the upgrades and capacity in most dire fashion. AT&T is not building the C-band N77 in the Cleveland market, like where they're dying for capacity, because really they're not dying for capacity. Their capacity is held up pretty nicely. It's not perfect everywhere, but generally speaking, their capacity here on LTE has been very uniform. So they're doing these upgrades in a very sequential way. They're clustering sites, which makes it a more meaningful connection. You stay connected, you hand off from site to site, which is really good. Not even Verizon has really been able to cluster all that much here. They've kind of gone with like, where can we get our permits cleared first? Where do we need to address the congestion first? I've seen that more so, places that have been neglected and haven't been upgraded in a long time. So like in the CLE, Verizon has gone from like the outer suburbs, ruralish inward because of millimeter wave and CBRS in the city already being deployed. And then here's AT&T kind of taking the approach of they're just clustering where where things seem to be ready for them. And they're doing these upgrades faster than Verizon. They're in these sites and out of these sites in like 10 to 12 days. In fact, they're actually upgrading my home site, which is not even far from this one. AT&T, I think, is going to rival Verizon for the N77 C-band build probably at some point by the end of the year. I think they'll have completely caught up, and they're going to be neck and neck. As long as the CapEx holds up next year, I think it's going to be pretty daggone close. So, like, I'm lucky. It's a beautiful situation for me. T-Mobile has N41 on probably 40 to 45% of the tower sites in my market. I would say that Verizon probably is approaching 20% here. I think they'll be at about 50% of the tower sites by the end of the year. Just looking at their pace, it's really, really impressive. And I think AT&T is going to be pretty close. I think they're going to be neck and neck with T-Mobile for mid-band upgrades, unless T-Mobile decides to start dumping tons of money in this year, which I'm not sure if they will. I don't know much about that, but these carriers are at each other's necks. They're creating lots of capacity. They're competing with each other. Nobody wants to be the butt of a joke on ookla on Open Signal, on all, Root. They all want to score well. They want to see like they're competent. These engineers are prideful. They take pride in work. They care. I know the Verizon engineers do very much. T-Mobile engineers obviously got a chip on their shoulder. Um, and you got Sprint engineers on that side now as well. And then AT&T engineers don't want to be viewed as a joke either, and as long as the companies are spending money in your market, you get to see things like this. I'm curious to see if anybody else is finding similar experiences. Are you seeing AT&T starting to pick up pace? Are they getting rapid in your market like they are in mine? Let me know if they are. Tell me also if you don't mind sharing, your market and a description of what you're seeing. Are you seeing it more from Verizon? Are you seeing it more from T-Mobile? I know that depends market to market. And also some people don't have access to all of the SIMs, so they can't really test it all. And now, like, economically speaking, people are getting a little bit tighter with their spending. A lot of people who may have had 2 or 3 SIMs before might kind of disconnect some of those. I totally understand that. But if anybody is out there, and wants to know what they're looking for here, this is what AT&T is doing here, and it could be happening in your area soon. Let me know what you guys think of this and some of the commentary. Go ahead and sound off in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, subscribe for more, and turn on that bell notifications icon to never miss an upload. And then in the description box, I'll go ahead and link my Twitter handle, also my Patreon page. If you want to support us there, you can get early access to content and exclusive videos not found anywhere else. And business inquiries can be sent to the Gmail address in the description box. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. We will see you all on the next video. Peace.